Unfortunately, we can't counter hypersonic missile launch with better pronoun usage, and a deeper understanding of white rage won't rescue Americans stranded in Afghanistan. I'd argue that woke obsessions are the proper jurisdiction of faculty lounge Marxists, not our national security agencies. We have real enemies, and they mean to do us harm. They have no interest in global warming or race, gender intersectionality. They closely watch us every day to find weaknesses that would enable attacks on our citizens and our homeland.
Welcome back. That was House Intelligence Ranking Member Devin Nunes slamming top intelligence chiefs at a hearing on Wednesday for legitimate threats from our enemies, including China, which is now said to be building a $10 million military base along its border with Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. My next guest warned us right here on this program back in August that Beijing would capitalize from the botched withdrawal out of Joe Biden's government. Mike Waltz is an Afghanistan veteran. He's the only Green Beret in Congress, and he joins us right now. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. You heard your colleague, Devin Nunes, referring to the fact that China was launching hypersonic missiles while the State Department was celebrating Pronoun Day. Your thoughts on this ISIS-K warning? What did you hear from the Pentagon with regard to the potential for another attack on America?
Well, Maria, thanks for having me on. And remember, it was just a few months ago that Joe Biden stood before the world and said, we've accomplished our mission in Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda is not in Afghanistan. Nothing to worry. We have over-the-horizon counterterrorism. We'll be fine. Yet now, just this week, we have the number 3 official in the Pentagon saying ISIS will be capable, they already intend to do so, but they will be militarily capable of striking the United States again within 6 months. So that's one piece. Number 2, you still have al-Qaeda out there that intends to do the same thing. The intelligence has been clear all along. Now you have the UN saying 8,000 to 10,000 foreign fighters are migrating to Afghanistan because the Taliban now has their caliphate and we have a terror superstate. And lo and behold, we have a terror warning in Northern Virginia with very credible threat reporting on North Virginia malls. And the thing is, Maria, we've talked about the military, the intelligence community looks at whether these terrorist groups are able to have training camps, whether they're able to infiltrate. We do have an open southern border, so I think that's a lot easier. But the thing that they're missing is how this victory, this notion that jihad has won and America has lost, inspires terrorists, many of which may be right here in the United States already, to launch attacks. And it's those inspired attacks that led to San Bernardino, that led to Pulse nightclub, and that's going to the Ohio State, where you had a student, a terrorist, get into a van and mow people down. And it's that symbolic victory that Biden gave the terrorists that I think is going to inspire attacks in the near term.
Well, it's absolutely extraordinary that you're expecting inspired attacks. We see these threats from ISIS-K and others potentially, and yet the administration calls all of the intelligence officials down to testify this past week, and Democrats focus on diversity. They title the hearing diversity rather than the actual threats that are right here in plain sight. Very similar to the fact that they do not care about U.S. taxpayer money. And you have to say that based on what we know. The headline of the last week was this new proposal that the White House is examining, whether to pay $450,000 per head of a family separated at the border. We're talking about $1 million per family. This is the taxpayer money that is up in smoke. That's just one idea. There's also $80+ billion in weapons sitting on the ground in Afghanistan, now in the hands of the Taliban. You've got $100 million plus of unused border wall materials in Texas because Joe Biden canceled all of the remaining contracts to build the wall. You've got private jets secretly flying migrants to private airports in the middle of the night. And now they're pursuing a $2 trillion spending plan with tons of gimmicks that actually really cost close to $4.5 trillion. So taxpayer money going up in smoke left and right, as they're focused on things like pronouns and diversity and not on adversaries. Why?
Yeah, Maria, I could tell you this, having been in combat in multiple theaters. The enemy's bullets, the terrorist bullets, could care less about black, white, or brown. All they care about is whether we're wearing an American flag on our shoulder or not. That's it, and that's all we should care about. You're either with us or you're against us. You either mean to do us harm or we mean to defend freedom. But on this spending spree, it's out of control. I mean, the printing presses are white hot in Washington, D.C. On top of everything that you listed, there was $1 trillion unspent from COVID when Biden came in. There's still over $120 billion sitting down at the states unspent, and we're trying to get those monies reallocated to infrastructure. It's sitting there. All we have to do is say you can now use it for infrastructure if you haven't had to spend it on COVID, but Nancy Pelosi won't even take it up. So this is about buying votes and about flooding the zone with money in their favorite programs, because they know once they get those programs in place, it'll be impossible or close to impossible for us to vote them out.
Well, I mean, I don't understand why she doesn't take up any of these issues. You're right about the money that now could be used for infrastructure. If she cared about infrastructure, could put that right. money to work. And then there's this other bill that passed the Senate, barring U.S. Federal Communications Commission from issuing new licenses for electronic equipment deemed to be national security risks. So in other words, we can't buy equipment from Huawei. We can't buy equipment from ZTE. Would that ever pass the House? I mean, will they take that up?
I don't see them taking it up. We're trying to get measures like that into the defense bill so that at least we can protect our military supply chains, and we can't have these chips or hardware made in China be infected by the Chinese so that later on they can take out our communication infrastructure. But look, while we may be able to protect that within our military, if they could take it out nationwide or even portions of it, that's a huge problem. We'll keep banging the drum, Maria, but I just can't, at this point, get the Democrats to wake up to this threat.
Well, I mean, finally, somebody in the NBA comes out with some moral courage to tell the truth. Enes Kanter tweeted out the genocidal Chinese government and the insecure tyrant behind it all, Xi Jinping. What is this going to mean for him? What's your take on what we saw out of the Boston Celtics center, Enes Kanter? Let's show the tweet here. He's showing these sneakers, no Beijing 2022, the Olympics this February. Congressman, what's your take on this tweet from Enes Kanter? Say no to Beijing 2022, well, he writes.
I can't praise him more highly for having some moral courage. Finally, we have a celebrity or a sports star willing to put their money on the table for what they know is right. And he also calls out LeBron James. He calls out Michael Jordan. He calls out the head of Nike, who is looking at 20 to 40% of their future growth in China. The CEO of Nike said, we are a company for China. At the end of the day, Maria, we've talked about their military buildup, their manufacturing base, they're launching hypersonics. They're doing it with our money, between Hollywood, between sports, between Wall Street, firms like BlackRock that are telling people to triple their investments into China. Enough is enough. I want people to make money all day long, but not when it comes at the expense of U.S. national security. And when the head of China is talking about replacing the American dream with the China dream, enough. But good on him for also calling out the Olympics. You have these woke corporations that want to boycott Georgia. You have Nike that wants to, laud and put up on a pedestal, all kinds of sports stars like Colin Kaepernick. But yet they want to turn a blind eye to modern day slavery that is happening right now. So, good on him for calling them out. But you know what? I call on all Americans, when you see made in China, put it down. If you care about social justice, well, let me tell you where slavery is happening. It's happening right now where women are being abused, they're being imprisoned, they're being forced to be sterilized. It's a genocide going on as we speak. But because everybody is drunk on Chinese money, including the Olympic sponsors that are happening in February, then everybody wants to turn a blind eye. Well, good on him for calling out the hypocrisy.
Well, I'm wondering if that drunk on money is also happening within the Biden family. I mean, Joe Biden refuses to bring up the origins of COVID-19 when he speaks with Xi Jinping. And what's wrong with these Wall Street guys, Larry Fink, BlackRock, Ray Dalio, investing and managing the CCP's money? Do they not understand that their kids and their grandkids and their kids will not have the same opportunities and upbringing that they did under a Chinese empire?
Yeah, and you know what? You're going to have future soldiers, sailors, and airmen possibly in conflict, possibly dying at the hands of the military equipment that Larry Fink bought with his money.
Congressman, good to see you this morning. Congressman Michael Waltz.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.